Award, Angela Martin King.
Hello everyone, my name is, I guess, Dr. Angela is what most people know me as. Traditionally, I started my career as a chiropractor, and it was a great career. But as all of you probably have experienced as an entrepreneur, everybody hits obstacles. I had a career-ending injury, and so here I am today with an absolutely new career, working as an NLP coach and mindset specialist, and as a medium too for channeling. So thank you so much. I'm honored to be nominated here and to meet all these wonderful, lovely people that I've never met before and having a blast. So thank you.
Our next nominee is Anna Parker for our Science and Tech Award.
Thank you so much. The one thing I wanted to do today is say thank you to Allison, because what a wonderful event, and I'm so glad to see us. Can we give some love to Allison? And as to being a woman on fire in technology, I started out as a mousy technical writer and discovered my power when I went to sales and marketing, and I am so freaking excited to help the technical writers who don't have this kind of a voice to be seen and heard and have their power recognized. So thank you so much for this.
Let's welcome Brenda Montgomery, our for the Arthur Writer Award.
Thanks, Allison. Thank everybody, and I thank everybody here for everybody that I've met. You're all truly unique, and don't you ever forget it, because you're all so special. With my gift, it took me over 35 years to come out of the closet with it. I'm so glad that I did.
Let's welcome our nominee, Ms. Cheryl Dean Duhaney. She's also a sponsor for the Woman on Fire event. She is one of the top representatives for Tracy Lynn Jewelry in Canada.
Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here today. It is indeed a privilege to be here today among you all beautiful ladies, winners. We're all winners. We're all women on fire. We're all destined for greatness. We all have an angel that is inside of us that wants to be set free. And today we are here because we are living who we really are, hopefully, because I am. So, with all that said, Allison, thank you so much again for this opportunity. Thank you for answering the call to open the door to women so that we can celebrate ourselves and other beautiful women. Celebrate Allison, Woman on Fire.
We have single mom Cheryl Goncalves.
On behalf of all the single parents, I wanted to congratulate you. It's not an easy thing to start a business, to support a household, to be a mentor to your child or children. And it's been a few years. When you find yourself as a single parent, the world drops out from under your feet. And you realize that the responsibility for raising that child is going to fall on you. Entrepreneurship doesn't come to me naturally, but I found that in order to raise my daughter to be the leader that I see in her, I needed to go first. Right? So I know this room is filled with women and men who are stepping out into their own spotlight, and it might not be natural, but I'll tell you, they're watching everything you do.
Amen. Yes. Amen.
It's not what you say, it's what you do. And so I'm standing here shaking. But this isn't just for me, it's for her and all of the other children who need a mentor, who need someone to show them that it's okay to be you, it's okay to step out and live your passions. So that's why I'm doing it. And I hope that she sees that. I'm sure she does, she's kind of crazy. So thank you, Allison, for giving me this opportunity to stand here and encourage all the other kids too. Okay? Congratulations, everyone.
So now we're going to go back and we're going to have our first speaker, Miss Janice Horn. Mrs. Janice Horn.
Well, thank you, everyone. And to let you know, I move a lot. And so I will be down there and up here, but I will at least start here. So first of all, I want to say thank you for the invitation to be here. And I've been here since Friday the 13th. And I'm going to tell you, I've met many of you, not all, but I am deeply honored to be here and to be in your presence. You are inspiring women that I am so richly blessed to know you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. So let me tell you what I believe Women on Fire are. Women on Fire are women of courage. And we have a destiny with greatness. And when I think of courageous women, here are some examples. And Cheryl, I didn't know you were a single mom. But I think of single moms. I think about how they get up early every single morning, take care of their children, make them breakfast, take them to school, and then go work a full-time job. And then they get up the next morning and they do it all over again. I think of devoted daughters who are caring for their elderly parents and who have a willingness to make the difficult healthcare decisions for them while honoring their parents' needs. I think of Allison Harvey, who has the capacity and the tenacity, and I chose those words specifically, to build a worldwide community, and whose heart and passion burns so brightly for the children of Haiti. Amen. Maya Angelou says this: courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. Fulfillment of our dreams, the dream that was called for you to live, requires courageous action. Isn't that true? Courageous action. So what's a dream that you have for your life? What's a dream that puts a smile on your face? What's the dream that gets you excited? And what is the dream that you want more than anything else? So, dreams do come true. So I wanted to share with you a little bit of my dream. I was nervous writing my dream because my dream was personal. And my dream involved my husband, John. And yes, he gave me permission to share. John and I met in our mid-40s, and we actually met on a ballroom dance floor. And I was blessed that my husband, we love to dance. There's music, if you saw back there, we were already dancing when the music was going. But you see, my heart's dream was always to be a competitive ballroom dancer. Now that's shocking being a red, I know, but I didn't know if that was ever going to be in John's plans. 2 years ago, that dream came true. Wow. We competed in American Smooth, closed bronze division. We took first place. I am truly, Women on Fire. Yeah. I am truly blessed. You know what you just did when I asked you to multiply it by 10? It was scary. It was so far out of my comfort zone, I couldn't do it. But then there were 2 words. And the 2 words were, why not? So here's what I claim. John and I are world-class competitive ballroom dancers, competing in Blackpool, England, at the World Dance Championships in our 60s. We are 56 years young, and we are currently intentionally going after that dream.
our dreams are not just dreams. They serve a purpose. If we listen to our dreams, what do? They help ignite our highest potential and help us move further along on our journey. So my background is in music. I'm a former music teacher, teaching music on an Indian reservation. And there was a dream. You ever had a dream gently tugging at you? I swatted that dream down. Kept coming after me. It was like life was tapping me on the shoulder and said, hey, you, pay attention. There is more for you to do. The dream was to start a prenatal music program for high-risk pregnant women. I started a program in New York State, working with young teenage mothers, rape victims, abused girls, women in prison. That experience was life-changing. It catapulted me onto a different direction in my life and onto a path that was calling me specifically by name. A new adventure began. I quit my job. I didn't tell anyone. Well, after I quit my job, I told my parents. I moved from Buffalo, New York to Atlanta, Georgia. I had no business plan. I had no idea of what I was going to do next. So this is what I did. I called the largest hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. And I said, hello, I'm Jan. May I speak to the music department? Can anyone imagine a response? Ladies and gentlemen, it was so quiet on the other end of the line, I could hear the click when they hung up the phone. What do you do when someone hangs up the phone on you? Someone once said, when faced with adversity, keep walking forward until adversity is forced to walk backwards. Developing a prenatal music program, and I'm looking at Brenda because it brought me back to myself. It brought me back to my wholeness and to my calling. So I started a prenatal music program. And that program continued to evolve and include other units in the hospital. And I was working on the oncology floor. And a patient's son walked up to me and said, I'd like to ask you a question. It's a question I've never been asked before. He said, when did you know you were a musical intuitive? I froze. I didn't know what to say because I had been denying that gift and making excuses my whole life. And in that moment, the veil had been removed. I knew that I was ready to step into what I had been called to do. Each one of us is going to leave a legacy. What will be your legacy? Howard Thurman says, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs is people. And I'll say it this way, what the world needs is women who have come alive. Women on Fire, we are messengers. We are messengers of hope, possibilities, and abundance. We have been ordained into greatness. Change something you care about. Touch one person. Make a difference to a handful. and make people your inspiration. Remember this, you are a shining light. You are an amazing gift to this world. So I'd like to invite you, if you would you all just reach out and just take each other's hands for a moment? Whoever you're sitting next to. And would you read this collectively with me? This is a poem called Beyond Your Brightest Star. Join me. Believe in you and who you are. Don't be afraid to see it through. Take the path found by so few. Always know you'll somehow make it. No matter how dark the night may seem, the light that shines from deep within will let you reach beyond your every dream. And with great celebration, join me in saying, we are Women on Fire!
It's awesome when we dream about something and it actually comes true. And take note from Janice, because having a dream, it seems sometimes impossible. And you think, this is never going to happen. You know what I mean? I could never get there. But if you focus on it, and I believe if you commit to the dream, it will come to pass. Someone said to me once, don't worry about the how. Don't worry about the how. Just focus. It's not your business. Don't focus on the how. Just know you want to get there, and the pathway will open once you commit to that desire. And the intention is firm. Don't waver though. Don't waver. So let's put our hands together for a Butterfly Award nominee, Ms. Denise McLaughlin Mitchell.
So good afternoon, everyone. Everyone looks lovely. Absolutely. Give yourselves a hand because you all look fantastic. And of course, I'm humbled and honored to be nominated as part of the Women on Fire Awards, and I'm so grateful to Allison for just creating an opportunity for women to acknowledge and recognize each other and support each other, really. And I just want to really take a moment, of course, to thank my family, my husband who's here playing security/photographer. So thank you so much for putting up with everything in this process. And I do want to just take a brief moment to honor my mother, who is also here this evening.
Yay!
My mother, Maria, thank you so much. I just want to say that, you know, regardless of what categories we are involved in, and we are all powerful women, we're all doing our thing and making a difference in the world, the reality is none of us are an island, and none of us could really do it completely on our own. We can do a lot on our own, but it takes the support, the encouragement, and the love of people around us. And so I just want to say thank you, especially to my mom, for always being there for me and always supporting and encouraging, even when I am a bratty daughter. And I just want her to know that I love her, and I could not be a woman on fire if you were not already a woman on fire. So I thank you.
Miss Divya, and I will not propose to pronounce her last name in case I'm
So first of all, Alison, thank you so much for organising this event, and it was such a pleasure getting to know you in the brief.
It is such a pleasure to listen to you.
In the brief few discussions we had, and yesterday and today I've really had the chance to get to speak to a lot more of you, and I hope to get to know everybody else as well. So lots of inspiration and from various individuals that we've already heard from. I spent 13 years in banking, and then after 13 years switched over to try my hand at being an entrepreneur. It's been a bit of a rocky road, because lots of confidence issues and building and everything that you try and do along the way. But what I wanted to say to everybody, because this is something that actually helped me, is a quote that is very close to my heart, and it's by Marianne Williamson. And she says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but it's that we are powerful beyond measure. And that's what I wanted to leave with everybody, because I think we go through so much self-doubt sometimes, but if we can remember that we're actually as powerful as we want to be, and you just keep, you stay true to your own cause and your own path of whatever it is that you want to do. That's the main thing. Just stay true to yourself. So thank you.
Okay, let's welcome to the stage our next nominee, Nakisha Geddes.
Yes, I'm so honored to be nominated for this book. For this honor here. Well, for writing the book, for this award. When I set out to write this book, I am a mental health worker, and I have experienced depression throughout my life journey due to my past and my past experience in rejection that I felt through growing up through my parents. And when I wrote this book was more of self-healing. I was healing myself. I was going through therapy, and I was healing myself when I was writing my story. And through writing my story, I was able to see how my story or my life journey, each obstacle that I went through, how I've overcome it and become a better me. And each stage of my life, I realized that, hey, it wasn't that bad after all. There's actually a chapter in my book where I mentioned, wait, it wasn't that bad after all, because at the moment it seemed like I was going through the worst moment of my life, but when you overcome it, it was like, wow, okay, you're on to the next, and you're on to the next. And I am the woman that I am because of my journey. You are the woman that you are because of your journey, and without that journey, you wouldn't have been the person that you are. You wouldn't be here today to meet all of us. And our life journey it was written before we were born. And we have to take those steps. We have to go through whatever it is that we go through at the moment. It feels like it's unbearable, or, whether it's business, whether it's personal, it just seems like we can't manage. But if you push through it and get through the hard part, the reward is always great. So thank you all. And that's it. So yes, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Nakisha. And just a caveat about Nakisha. Nakisha has been coming to Woman on Fire for the last 4 years, every single year. And she always brings people with her. She has never come to this event by herself, ever. And this is the very first time she's been a nominee.
Could I say one thing? Sorry. One of the things that I love about Allison event, love coming to this event, is the inclusiveness of it. When you work in the field that I work in, and you see how people or society reject difference, when you look different, when you feel different, when you talk different, when you act different, society reject them. And every year, me coming to this event is more about integrating people that are different, and for society to see them as normal or as who you are, because we all have some kind of differences in us, and a lot of us go through some kind of differences that it's hidden, and nobody knows it's in our dark side, it's at home. And some people go through it where it's physical, or you can see it, and you see where society shun away from it. And what I love about this event is very inclusive, because people that I support, they're able to come here and they're able to be as normal as they can be. They're acceptable. Everybody accept them. And in I'll say like, I'll have Caitlin here. Gave me joy yesterday just to see Caitlin up on stage dancing with everybody. Nobody knew. She's just like everybody in this room. I have Michelle sitting back there. Look how beautiful Michelle looks. In an average room, in an average place, she's a patient, she's an outcast, she does not belong. But when she comes to this event, she has meaningful friends. Amen. She's able to go out. She's able to, there's people that she does connect with throughout the year. She calls Allison whenever she wants. She's telling me what's happening in people's life. That is meaningful relationship that is not being paid. And in a normal circumstances, they don't get to do that. So that's one of the things that I love about this event. It's very inclusive. Doesn't matter who you are, if you're making $1 million or if you're making $5, we all are one. Amen. And I love that because we're able to say, hey, we're human first. And whatever title that you have, it doesn't matter. Because we all bleed at the end of the day, right? Yeah. Thank
you. Yeah, so that's support. Somebody who comes time and again for no more reason than coming to the event, bringing out her people all the time. She goes online and promotes, and I'm like, damn, if I had 100 on Nikisha, I'd be like, woo! But it's good to have that support from that one person so you know you're doing something right. And all of us need that one person in their corner. Because as much as people might like you and say they support you, it ain't true. You know, some of them just waiting on the corner. But you know what they say, if you ain't got haters, you ain't doing something right. So, okay, bring on the haters, it's okay. Okay, so let's see, our next nominee is Kimberly Ajibulade. And I did not butcher her name.
Such an awesome platform to be able to, just as the slogan says, to celebrate, to motivate, and elevate women. That's what we need. We have so much prestigious awards, and in my mind, this is the most prestigious of them all because it goes beyond. It's not the academy, it's not those in the movies, but it's everyday people doing things and making moves, and it's so encouraging when you can get something like this. It's that catalyst that you need. We don't always do things for because of what we can get, but it's so encouraging when someone can acknowledge that and see that, and it just pushes you so much further. So I want to thank you to you, Allison. Thank you to Woman on Fire. And I just want to leave this very small thought with you, that in life there are no mistakes. It's just or no losses rather, but just lessons and wins. Because nothing is a loss if we learn from it. And that's what it is today as we come from our several different places and everything, and so much bumps and hiccups happen. But like, look at everybody today. Look at some of the speakers who never thought they could do it. Look at some of the nominees who've never been nominated. So only wins and losses. Thank you so much.
Okay, our next nominee is the Reverend Sky Star. Unfortunately, Reverend Star is unable to be with us today. But I just want to say a few words about this amazing woman, and if you look at the nominees online, you can read up about her. She actually services the community with her amazing work dealing with parents who lose their children through violence. So there's not a week that goes by when she's not supporting a woman in the community, a mother, a family, to lose your child in the most horrific way through gun violence and so on. So I just want to wish her well. Let's wish her well, that she gets better soon, and that we send some love to her and she feels good. So thank you so much for just listening a little bit and maybe going to the website and checking out what she does. If you're in Toronto and you can support her, please do, because people like these, they get very little support from the community. You know, they run around doing stuff, and she got sick because of running around. She's just trying to do better, trying to help people, trying to help mothers, single moms, parents losing their children to violence in our community. And it's happening all over the world today. So people like these are truly blessed to be able to go out there and be that support for that family in their time of need. Okay? Our next nominee is Miss Palmonia Gordon. Give it up for her. She makes her gorgeous way to the stage.
And I will not cry today. First, I just want to thank God for the opportunity to stand here. And there are three women that I'd really like to thank, especially today. One, Nikisha. Nikisha, thank you for nominating me for this award. It speaks to her unselfishness, because she got nominated for the Author Award and she nominated me for the same category. Right, so clearly a woman on fire, thank you. Second, Allison, thank you for, there is not yet a word, I'm gonna have to make it up, that describe what you do here.
Tweak it, man, tweak it.
Hashtag, that's my hashtag, tweak it, we're gonna tweak it. What you do here is, this award and this whole interaction plants a seed within us as women that we can't imagine what the harvest is going to be like. So I just want to thank you right now, because the fields that are going to pour out of us is more than you can imagine right now. And the third woman I'd like to thank, can you come here, honey? Yeah. This is my baby girl, Shay. Stay right here, sweetie. Come here. Just turn around, they can see how beautiful you are. She's 7. I have 5 kids, 4 of them are boys. But when I had her was when my life changed, because I was a product of abuse. And when I had her, I knew I couldn't afford for the same thing to happen to her. So after 23 years at the post office delivering mail, I had to choose. Am I gonna hold to a pension, or am I gonna make sure my baby live a better life than I did? Thank you. So I just want to thank everyone here, and I think sometimes we forget to thank our kids, because you know, we work hard and we give for them, and they can really rub us the wrong way, and when we lay down at night, it goes, oh, you know, I remember my son used to come, and the neighbor would come and knock my sister's door. Can you tell your son not to pick my flowers? Because he'd pick the neighbor's flowers to bring it in for mom. But each of us here have a gift within us that it is necessary. It's not an if, it's not an and, it's not an or, it's not a maybe. My book, I tell people, my family, even to today, has never said they're proud of me. Brenda wrote me a note yesterday in my book, and I was crying. She said, if no one ever says it, I'm proud of you. My family is upset that now the world knows what happened. And the truth is, no one has ever taken the time to find out, hey, how did you do it? How did you survive? How come you're still here? So when we have an opportunity like this to share our story, 7 out of 10 people who read my book will say to me, that's me. That's my story. How do you do it? How do we do it? Whatever your story is, how do you survive as a single mom? There's another single mom that needs to know. I used to fall asleep every night and swear that was the last night and I would never wake up. That's it, I'm done. And like the speaker said, you wake up the next morning, you go, keep going. You keep going. So Allison, keep going. Keep going. Keep going, we need it. Thank you.
Awesome. So give Ms. Palmonia Gordon a round of applause. And keep on clapping as we bring our next speaker to the stage, Iris Elston out of Atlanta, Georgia.
So, well, I really appreciate it. I always start with a gratitude in my heart because it's the way I am. And I always want to thank every single one of you because to me, you are all special in your own way. We all have this gift inside of us. Now, for some of you who may not know me, and I know a lot of you I have spoken with last night, but my name is Iris Allison. Bless you. My name is Iris Alliston. I'm an entrepreneur and a small business owner. And I have the pleasure to work with athletes, celebrities, authors, speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs, business professionals, like many of you in this room. And I help them create their own brands online. And it has been such a pleasure working with them. And also, I have been so blessed to have the opportunity, because not too long ago, I became a public speaker. I can now say that, because not too long ago, I used to be so shy and an introvert that you will not find me being up here on stage. But 12 months later or more, here I am, and I'm having an amazing time. I've spoken at conferences, women events, and summits, and as a matter of fact, I've been at the Les Brown conference last weekend in Florida, where it was sunny and bright, and it was 80 degrees.
What a flip.
But I would not change this for the world. I would not change it for the world. There was a time in my life that I used to believe in myself where I wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough. And I also had people tell me the same thing. Iris, you could not possibly do that. How are you going to do that? There's just no way. But then I realized that I wanted more. Because like many of you, I also have those desires. Desire to be more. Desire to be of value for someone else. And I wanted to do it in a larger scale. And it's amazing because it wasn't too long ago that I was saying those same things to me, because that's what I believed about myself, that I wasn't good enough. I could not possibly do that. You see, for many, many years, I used to have this fear where it debilitated me, it paralyzed me from moving forward. It could be different for you, but to me, it was many, many things, and I'm not going to go through it here. But it was enough where I couldn't do a lot of things, and even though my mind would tell me otherwise, but I just could not move forward. How many of you here have let fear cause you to not pursue your dreams and goals? Just raise your hands. I see a lot of hands up. And I completely resonate with you. Because fear, it sets that mindset in our mind, that thinking of, we are going to fail. We fear rejections. We fear making mistakes. And we fear of who we are. But you see, we know what it's like to be afraid. We know how that feels. But I don't think we've ever taken the time to define what fear means to us. Sure, growing up, we may have been told that fear is weakness and it's something that we should avoid. Yet we miss so many awesome opportunities because we let fear win. The cost of inaction, of not changing anything or even doing anything, is far worse than facing our fear. You see, last night I had the opportunity to spend some time with a lot of great ladies last night. And I see a lot of you right now from last night. And we had a great time, didn't we, ladies? Yes, we had an awesome time. We had some transformations, we had some breakthroughs, right? And a few of you even came up to me afterwards and told me your stories. And one of the things that resonated with me the most was confidence and fear. those two things. And I'm so, so blessed that I had the chance to hear that. Because a lot of us, we don't really define what fear means to us. Because we just keep moving forward, or we just avoid it, right? We just avoid it. But the thing is, fear is something we conquer. It is something we fight. It is something we overcome. I overcame my fear when my family passed away. And that's when I realized that I wanted more in life, that I wanted to do more in life. So let me ask you, before I leave the stage, actually, let me ask you this. How many of you from here on, after this conference, after we have connected with so many people, after we have built that relationship, how many of you will move forward to pursue your dreams and goals? Yes, I love seeing that. Pursue your dreams and goals. Or how many of you will stay the way you are? Good. Now, how many of you are going to build your dreams? Or will you build someone else's dream? Right? It's powerful. How many of you are going to burn the midnight oil, working day in and day out, building your legacy? Yes, building your legacy. For you, for your children, or your loved one? Or will you let the flame of desire burn and die, or die within you? I am powerful. I am brave. I am fearless. I am courageous. Because I am a woman on fire. All right.
The reason Woman on Fire was started was to help women in Haiti. And to that effect, this is primarily a place that I share a little bit about Haiti and what I do there. This year, we want to start a business manufacturing sanitary napkins for girls in Haiti, and we want to launch in December. Women in Haiti work all day and make less than $5. So I'm asking every single person in this room today to buy a raffle ticket. And you could win something worth more than $5. So you're sowing and you will reap. And this has long-standing differences to it, changes to it, because this is going to women who don't have what we have. We have an opportunity for greatness. We have an opportunity to send our children to school every single day, to put food in your belly and clothes on your back every single day. And these women don't have that opportunity. So our next nominee to pay tribute to is Halta Murray. Halta.
Well, I always say I'm very special. I was born and raised in Haiti. I came to Canada when I was 12.
Yeah.
And I've been through a lot, and nothing has stopped me. And I'm coming here. On Wednesday, I actually cried at 6 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't believe I was gonna be here. And to be nominated for something like this, it's a really big deal. So I'm getting emotional because my story this is just the beginning, and I'm hoping to write a book about my life.
Amen.
Alison, thank you.
So Halta, as you heard, is Haitian. She's one of the children that was abandoned when she was a baby. And because of somebody reaching out to help her, maybe learning about Haiti, just like you're learning about Haiti, maybe one day you'll decide to go to Haiti and adopt a child and give her or him the opportunity for a better life.
I don't want to adopt a child in Haiti. I want to help a lot more children in Haiti. And I'm not saying everybody has their own path to follow, but for me, I believe that if I can help more, it's better than just helping one person, and I don't want any more children. So, I know that's a selfish part, hey, I'm being honest, but I would rather have a home for 100 girls. That's my dream one day, to have a home in Haiti for 100 girls. But Haltha is Haiti, and I'm so proud to have her here today. And our next speaker, who's coming up, Judith Craig Morenzi, she's also Haitian. She was also abandoned as a baby. This is true. People throw away their children because they can't afford to have them. And look at how beautiful the both of them are. Imagine throwing away a baby, a little baby, into the side of the road. You want that child to die because you don't want that child. And these two are on this stage, coming that long road. And to me, if that's not inspiration, I don't know what is. How many of us have ever suffered through that, being abandoned as a child, as a baby, being cast aside like nobody wants you? And these two ladies are that. If you look at both of them, when I talk about Haiti, I talk about children like Haltha and Judith, who don't have an opportunity. They have an opportunity. But a lot of children in Haiti would never have that opportunity. People have to be generous of heart and of body and of soul. It takes about 3 years to adopt from Haiti. It's a long process. So it's not for the meek or the timid or the non-enduring, because some people like things like that. Because I've had people approach me and say, I want to adopt from Haiti. How long? I want a baby. I say, well, it's going to take 3 years. Nobody has ever come back. So talk is cheap. Okay, we can talk a lot of crap. There's the people that actually go out, like Judith's mom and Haltha's mom, because that's their parents who gave them that opportunity. So before Judith comes up, I have 5 more nominees. Okay, so you could grab my seat. And so I'm going to bring them up one by one. The next one we have, wow, Ingrid Richardson. And Ingrid, if you guys didn't hear the story, you weren't here yesterday. Ingrid is one of the very first Women on Fire, when we had nothing. We were a bunch of women for a luncheon in Toronto in a restaurant that went from 3 hours to 6 hours. Yeah. We had an impromptu fashion show. We had a guy with a band, ended up paying with it. And we had, just like we did tonight, that's what we did. Remember all that foolishness? Yeah, for 6 hours. For 6 hours we did that. And it was amazing. And look where that, from that to now. So it's an amazing journey. So Ingrid, say a few words.
Oh my gosh, this is so, the words cannot describe how I feel this evening. I've traveled a journey with Allison with this project of hers, and it's amazing to see how far it has come. Not only in Toronto, but the fact that it has gone to Atlanta as well. And I mean, everybody is have been on stage and they have said how grateful they are to Allison. And I have to embrace it as well. It cannot be said enough times. Have you ever, somebody just walk into your life and right away you connect with that person and they become like a sister or brother? And that's how I feel about Allison. Sometimes I don't talk to her for months. It's life. It's life, just like anything else. And you kind of go in different ways, but I never forget about her and she never forgets about me. Out of the blue, sometimes she messages me, she calls me, and I do the same. And this is my first time being involved actually in the Women on Fire Gala. But when I saw the posting, I called her and I said, okay, Allison, I said, I have to be here this time. And she said, okay, Ingrid, get your ass together. You know you have to be here. So I'm so proud to be here today. I was actually nominated by my husband. He's a big supporter of me. He's not here. He's not here with me this evening, but his heart is here. He actually lives in the US and he was here last week. So I'm very honored actually, and it's overwhelming to be among such a wonderful group of ladies. Since yesterday, I've met so many people that I've met for the very first time. The stories that I've heard, it's phenomenal. When you think life is hard for you, you hear somebody else's story. and then you say, thank you, Lord. And that's how I feel this evening. So, you know, for all those who have had challenges, for all of you who are here today, just continue moving and go the next step, because it's all yours. You just have to reach out. Thank you.
Our next nominee is laughter coach Lynn Himmelman.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I need to acknowledge you, Allison. I just love your spirit and your energy and your generosity. Yes, you give so much of yourself to put all of this together for us. I'm brand new to this and I'm having just such a wonderful time. And Jillian, where are you? I'm looking for you. Yes. I want to thank Jillian because she's the one that nominated me, and it just came as such a surprise. I think too often we go through all of our challenges and sharing our gifts and so on without really noticing where we are making a difference enough. And one of the things that I'd like to say is that there was a woman in my life when I was in my early 20s. I had this great dream to sing, but my dream was very small. I just wanted to be able to sing Scarborough Fair without turning red and starting to shake. But I met a woman who had a vision of what I could do that was much bigger than my own. And it really made a mark on me because I ended up with an opera career. Wow. That's just one of my little achievements. And it really spoke to me how important it is for us to hold vision for others. And that's what you're doing, Allison, because you just have no idea what an incredible difference that can make. That singing teacher made such a difference. It just set my life off on a much bigger direction than I would have dreamed of on my own. And you're doing the same here again. In the next leg of my journey, this nomination for Lifetime Achievement Award, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, but life isn't over. So I'm seeing it as a send-off into the next half of my life. Thank you.
Our next nominee is Monica Swanee.
I just want to say thank you to Allison. You totally epitomized the woman on fire. Everybody give her a big round of applause. I want to say a big thank you to my dear friend, Dawn James. She helps raise everybody's vibration, and she's such a beautiful soul. And I guess she saw the woman on fire in you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional.
It's okay.
I didn't think it would be. Yes. So I know that there's all these beautiful people I've met today, and the ones who haven't, I look forward to meeting you as well. And congratulations to all the nominees. We're all winners, whether we, get an award or we come back next year and try again. And I just want to say, never, never, ever quit being who you are and your passion.
Our next nominee, Alyssa Noel.
Good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing tonight? Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you, Allison, so much for this opportunity. Being on the phone with you, trying to get everything sorted out. I just want to thank God for allowing me to be here and everyone here tonight. We all are winners. We all are beautiful. We are all empowered women. Being nominated for Single Mother Award, I can't explain the feeling. Just being a single mom, and I don't know if any of you here, must be another person here for single mother. It's not easy being a single mother, having to raise your child on your own, the father not being there, and just having to wonder where the next meal is gonna come from. It's really hard. So I just wanna encourage you that no matter what you're doing, where you are in life, just be inspired, be encouraged, know that you're powerful, that you're great, and that there's greatness within you. And that no matter what you pursue in life, do it with confidence. Can you just stand up and say it with me? Everyone can stand. That'll be great. Just breathe in confidence. Breathe in, breathe out. I am beautiful. I am blessed. I am highly favored. There's no one like me. I deserve to be here. I belong here. I am beautiful. For the man, I am handsome. And there's none like me. I am a woman in fire. All right, you may be seated. Thank you so much, Allison, for this. I just want to thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you.
Our next award nominee, Miss Nini Amelise. She's nominated for the Butterfly Award.
As she says, giggle box. Miss Allison is a giggle box. What is a giggle box? A happy, jovial, loving, kind-hearted person. She's just so sweet, and I'm super, super grateful because to be even nominated for the Butterfly Award, I would have never imagined, because coming from such a place where it was like ashes and crazy and like suicide, rape. I even had the second time where I did get raped, I got impregnated. I aborted my child, unfortunately. And when you were speaking about the babies being tossed away, it really resonated with me, because I'm also doing a program in a couple of months where I'm trying to do an outreach to rescue these babies that are lost in the trashes in different countries, because every baby needs a home. Every baby needs to feel loved. I never had a father growing up, and I know what it feels like not to have a parent, especially a father figure. My mother was what she defines as a mother and male figure. And later on in life, I had an encounter with God, and now he had ultimately become my father. And that being said, I just want people to just know that they're not defined by their circumstances, nor defined by the hurts, the struggles, the pain, the hardships, but use that as a refinement process. Use that to push you forward, propel you forward, to know that there is greatness ahead and that there's a beautiful destiny ahead. You're not limited by the circumstance, you're not limited by the situation, but you can rather use those circumstances to know that you are actually a fearfully and wonderfully made being, made out of love, made out of joy, and that every person in this room can attain their very greatness destined for them.
Miss Benita Rose.
So bright she can burn your eyes. Better look the other way. You can try, but you'll never forget one day.
Thank you, everyone. It's an absolute privilege to be here tonight. And I just thank you, Allison, for creating such a fabulous output to be able to empower and to recognize women, because we all love to be recognized. We all like to be just appreciated, because we do so much things in life, right? I was nominated for Business Woman of the Year, and it's quite ironic because sometimes you do businesses and you're not very good, or you fail, but there's always something with, they talk about failing forward. So you know what, you have to go through a lot of things in life. You have to fail a lot of times in order to become successful, just to find out how great you are and what your greatness, what is really wrapped up inside of you. And I just thank goodness for this opportunity. I thank Andrea for nominating me. It's actually the first time I've ever been nominated for anything, so it's kind of nice to feel like a celebrity for a day, it's an amazing feeling. Ladies, you all look fabulous. I'm glad I'm here. I've built some great friendships with some amazing people from the US and Canada, and I hope we can continue
that relationship. So it doesn't really end when you leave here. Like even if just sending a text or an email to say, hey, how's it going? How are you doing? You know, I'd really like to encourage each and every one of us to keep doing that, because we need to empower each other. We need to encourage each other, because we are families and we do go through trials and tribulations where, you know what, a nice little email from somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, say, hey, how you doing? Just thinking of you. It's a great feeling. And I just thank God again for the opportunity to be here. And I hope, you know, we're all world changers. Each and every one of us, we have a gift, we have a talent. Continue doing what you're doing. Go out and impact lives, change lives, empower people. There are people out there that are waiting for somebody like you to come and touch their lives. And you know, we are all winners here tonight. All right, thank you.
All right, so that is our last nominee. Now we bring to our stage, before we announce our winners, we bring to our stage our very special guest speaker, Miss Judith Craig Morenzi.
I'm going to share a little bit about my experience, and I mean, there's so many incredible, awe-inspiring experiences here today, and I guess for me, it's a journey that I've been on my whole life, being a Haitian adoptee. I'm what you call a transracial adoptee, and a foundling. So basically, to break down all those words, a foundling is, as Allison said, I was literally found in the ground in Haiti on a roadside. And I was then taken to a hospital, and from there I was taken on to an orphanage, and then I was adopted when I was about 4 months old. Being transracial, of course, I was adopted by a white minister, his wife, and they always wanted to do more, and because of their faith, they felt like they were supposed to reach out to the orphans and elderly people, so they could have their own biological children, but they chose to adopt as well. So they have 3 biological children. They adopted myself, and they adopted another child from Haiti, who's not my biological brother. So there were 5 of us growing up, and it was an interesting experience. We were in Montreal initially when I came from Haiti, and then we moved down to America. And at the time it was Ohio, and it was this was the early 80s, it was extremely racially divided. So my early years was full of a lot of, I guess you could say, self-hate, self-loathing. I didn't like what I saw when I looked into the mirror. I didn't think, oh, I look great. It was, I didn't want to look like this. I wanted to look like those people who were around me. I wanted to look like my mom, my sister, and that was something that I really struggled with for the first several years of my life. Thank you. And it's interesting because my daughter actually was looking at my slides the other day, and my older one, she's 7, and she was like, Mommy, I'm so sad that you didn't love who you were. And I was like, oh God, she's like, you know, at this age, you don't always know how much they're gonna get. And she got it. She was like, does that mean you didn't love yourself? So does that mean you don't love me? And I was like, oh my God, like punch to the gut. It was a moment that, for parents in the room, when they say those things that you're just like, wow, I did not expect those words to come out of your mouth. And I reassured her massively, and I said, Mommy's worked really, really hard for many years. And I said, that was when I was very little. But I had to explain it to her. I had to explain to her that she's beautiful. And I thought I was doing a pretty good job because I'm like very pro-black, and we have black dolls, and we have black art, and we, you know, I've been like trying to overdo it maybe, you know what I mean, to make sure my girls didn't go through what I went through. But hearing her say those words really, really struck a chord in me, and it got me very emotional. But I think, yeah, hearing her say that also made me think, okay, she needs to know beyond a shadow of a doubt how loved she is, how special she is, and how beautiful she is. And so that was something that literally just happened the other day, and it did really strike me. To go back a little bit, I did want to show, just to share a little bit of my story. I actually made a documentary about returning to Haiti when I went back in 2007.
Should I go to the link then?
Yes, can you? Thank you. So I went back to Haiti in 2007 because I got to a point in my life where, well, really I'd always wanted to know more, because when you are found in a ditch, I was found with no information. I was found with no name, no identification, no date of birth, nothing. So this is just a little preview of my film.
I guess the most painful question I sometimes ask myself is, was she leaving me to die? Or was she leaving me in hopes that someone would be there to try and find me?
I was found in a ditch, like in the ground in Haiti, and some people, we don't know who exactly, found me. I was adopted by a white minister and his wife. Although it was a very loving family I was in, I've always felt there was part of me missing. I just feel like I have to know what happened. I've always wanted to make sure I come back to Haiti and find my family. I have no name, no pictures. I know nothing.
You will find something.
If my story is at all familiar, please call us. Literally, as soon as we gave up the number, the phone rang. Like, I was just like, oh my God.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
We're getting more response now. People are paying attention, they're listening.
I have like 9 people.
9 people.
Yes, and different. All different and all different styles.
Sadly, people will make up stuff. And I'm not naive to that.
I have a call. So someone said that he knows the story like that.
Wow. This is a picture of me as a baby.
She had the baby at home, but
right?
we brought the baby to the hospital.
Wow, it sounds plausible. Do you think? I have 2 families here, and one of them came, they told us the story, it doesn't match, and they won't leave.
Ça veut dire, là, on fait acte ça, ça a été déjà 2 ans, il était au Canada déjà. Sans va contre Raïstan.
She ain't got a chance to fight it because she living in Haiti too long.
Adoption, li yon bon bagay pour communauté internationale là, mais pour nous mêmes haïtiens, c'est pas un bon bagay parce que ça pas aider nous progresser, ça pas aider nous à avancer.
C'est une obligation qui fait que nous faisons adopter par les internationaux, puisque l'objectif, c'est la survie, bien-être de l'enfant. Si mon n'a pas suivi à bien-être à côté de la journée.
How do I teach him as a white mother to be a black man? That's tough.
We're all the same color. I'm black on the inside.
They don't want to say that race plays a role, but it does.
I didn't always feel I fit in with black communities, like black students at my school.
Judith would stop up the stairs, scratching at her arm, saying she wanted to scratch the black off.
I've always wanted to see my family and see what they look like, because in my family is mainly white, so I don't have anybody who looks like me. Oh my gosh, maybe you're my brother.
Yeah, fake it, she's your sister, yeah. Yeah.
We're expecting to see the full scale of the damage and devastation that this powerful earthquake has wrought.
Dozens of Haitian orphans arriving in the U.S. today.
De 33 enfants haïtiens qui ont été adoptés par des familles françaises.
24 Haitian orphans arrived in Ottawa this morning.
I did leave the country. I have an opportunity. I'm educated, and I'm Haitian, first and foremost, and I can give something back.
So that was my beginning, and I think for me, not having the information, not knowing my parentage, not knowing where I came from or who I was, it had a huge impact on me, and it still does to this day. It's something that I've worked through my entire life, and it's something that people haven't always understood, because the sentiment is, oh, you were lucky, you were saved, you were spared, you got to go to Canada. Yes, all those things are true to an extent. I was blessed, I have a loving family, I have opportunities, but I also lost, and I lost a hell of a lot in leaving Haiti. I lost my culture, I lost my identity, I didn't know who I was. And figuring that out when you have no information is extremely difficult. How do you build up on nothing? So as much as I am appreciative, because I hate the word grateful, and I'll tell you why I hate the word grateful, it's because my whole life I've been told, you're so grateful. People would come up to me in the street, strangers, oh, your parents, they're amazing, they're wonderful, they're going straight to heaven because they adopted you. And you have to understand what that does to a child. Should I be overly grateful because I was adopted, or should I just be appreciative and thankful? Are my siblings who were born to my parents overly grateful because my parents had them? No, people weren't saying that to them. They were saying it to me, and probably my brother as well, who was adopted. That's a lot for a child to carry, and a big burden. Of course I love my family. Of course I'm appreciative that they adopted me. But I also am aware, and was always aware, that I had a family. It was just I didn't know where they were. They were lost to me. So growing up, I did deal with the abandonment issues. I dealt with not being lovable and not feeling lovable. How could the one person who gives birth to you not want you, or not be able to keep you and take care of you? If she couldn't love me and keep me, what chance do I have? And that impacted massively on my relationships and on my self-esteem and who I was. Entering into my family, as I say, loving and wonderful family, but cultural differences galore. They were a white Canadian family. And although my parents were much more forward-thinking than a lot of parents are, and were aware that I would have racial issues to deal with that they didn't, they could never fully prepare me for what I had to deal with. The racism that I had to face, the prejudice, the comments from within my own family. My grandparents said to my mother, if you adopt this black child, we will disown you. And I felt the difference. They didn't in the end, and they came around, sort of. There was a very strange relationship that I had with my grandparents growing up. And I felt the difference in how they treated myself and my sisters, for example. Again, a lot for a child to deal with and to manage. As I grew up, I did face the racism. I was called a nigger when I was 5 years old in kindergarten. I remember it to this day. I remember the response my mother and my best friend's mother also made, though. Getting into the car when we came home from school and racing to that school and making sure it was dealt with. I don't remember what happened to that little boy, but I'll never forget the response that was taken and the action that was taken. So with things like that, that spurred me on to think, okay, that's not okay for people to talk to me like that. But it took really moving back to Canada when I was about 4 years old. About 4 years old, we moved back to Canada, and we met this black woman and her daughter, who's at the top picture there with me. And she was a black American woman living down the street. And back in the 80s, people used to come over and knock on your door when you moved to a neighborhood. Do you remember that? And like welcome you to the neighborhood. It doesn't happen so much anymore. But then it did, and they came over. And my mother said to me, within 2 weeks of us playing together and spending every day together, because it was the end of summer, so we had time, I stopped saying that I wanted to scratch my black off. I stopped saying I wanted long blonde hair and a white pointy nose. I started to embrace who I was because I had the example around me. And I saw, oh, okay, this is black beauty. And having that, I truly believe, saved my life. It saved me from thinking that what my 7-year-old daughter said to me, that I couldn't love her and I couldn't love myself. So I'm eternally grateful, and I've reached out to Lee Helen and her mother. They're both on Facebook. I've reached out to them, and I've made sure they know the impact that they had in my life. Because without them, I know I would be in a very, very different place. And that does sadden me. My teen years, those were a challenging time. I had a mixed group of friends at school, but in our church group, it was predominantly a white youth group. So my core group of friends were, it was a group of white girls, and we had great times, we had fun, we had the sleepovers, we enjoyed ourselves. But inside, I was battling with a lot of who am I and where do I fit in? So as much as I had accepted that, okay, I'm a black girl, but how does a black girl in a white family, how do other people perceive me? How do I actually understand who I am? How do I fit all of those pieces of the puzzle together? So I really struggled with self-esteem, my self-image, and knowing who I was and where I fit in. I'd say I'd always been curious about Haiti, but I didn't have a lot of positive information about Haiti growing up. The information in the media was very negative. We heard about the Duvalier family, we heard about poverty, we saw images of poverty on TV. We didn't get positive things from Haiti. When I was in about, I think grade 12 or OAC, I decided to do a project for a geography class on Haiti. And as I was doing my research, I was starting to get excited and I thought, okay, this is my country, this is exciting. And I remember because I got an A on that project and I was so proud of myself. And I was just like, okay, maybe there's something here. And I knew I wanted to go back, but it was, how am I gonna do that? What's it gonna look like? And it wasn't until after university that I had the opportunity. And going to university actually was another life-changing experience for me. As I say, my identity was sort of somewhere mixed in between. I wasn't quite sure where I fit in, where I blended properly. And going off to school, I connected with the Black Student Association, and I started to understand more. I started to learn more about, our Black history, our culture. I lived with some Jamaican girls, and that was like, hella eye-opening, I'm telling you. From my white Canadian mom to these Jamaican girls, boy, I was like, wow, a lot of things I do right, apparently. So it was a really great experience. And I started to come into my own as a Black woman, as a Black young woman. Eventually I became the president of the Black Student Association. Like, me? I never thought that would happen. But as I embraced my Blackness, I also embraced my Haitianness. And actually at university is when I first started meeting some other fellow Haitians. And that was amazing. Like Allison, when she meets a Haitian person, it's like, woo! And it is, it's like, I know how will test it. It's so exciting when you meet other Haitians, especially when you're in a space that you wouldn't normally expect to. But coming and starting to meet Haitians, I got more and more curious. Unfortunately, there were opportunities that I missed. I didn't go to Haiti. As when I actually moved over to the United Kingdom, of all places, I met a fellow Canadian, Sonia, who was a filmmaker. And as we were sharing our stories with each other, as you do when you get to know people, she was like, we have to film you going back, And I was like, oh, I don't know about all that. That's kind of intense. But as we spoke more about it, I felt like, okay, I can do this. I can share my experience returning to Haiti, a country I hadn't been to at that time. It would have been about 25 years. And I did that. So we went back in October of 2007. And as you saw from the film, we filmed the experience, and I had to put myself out there. And it was daunting, overwhelming. I had to go on radio, TV, newspapers. I had to really put myself at the mercy of the Haitian people because I was so desperate to find out information. I wanted so badly to know who I was, where did I come from, where are my family, And doing that, yeah, it was overwhelming. I had bright red, I dyed my locks bright red before I went. I don't know why exactly, but I definitely stood out, and people would walk down the street and say such encouraging things, like, you're gonna find your family, we're wishing you the best, we're praying for you. And that really boosted me. I was so warmly welcomed back. And that was a big fear that I'd had growing up was, will I be Haitian enough? I didn't speak Creole, my French is pretty appalling, so I wasn't sure how I would be received. But the community there was so warm and welcoming, and they just embraced me, and they were excited that I had returned. And they sort of said, no, you're a returning child to Haiti, you are Haiti's child. And that filled me up so much, and it gave me a real sense of hope and encouragement, because going on a journey like this with literally no information, I always knew it would be a challenge. I always knew it would be like finding the needle in the haystack. And there were a lot of naysayers in my life. So you're talking earlier about naysayers? Boy, I thought, wow, there's a lot of negative people out there. And a lot of people warned me, don't go, don't do it, you're gonna be disappointed, or you might get hurt. And we had so much favor on that trip. We met the right people at the right time, we had the right connections, the right hookups, we were 100% safe. It was incredible. The trip was truly life-changing, and I'm so grateful and so thankful. That's when I use the word grateful. I'm so grateful that I went down and that I returned, because I always knew I needed to search for my own truth and my own information. As you saw in the clip, a lot of families came forward, and it was actually heartbreaking to me, seeing how many families had lost their children. Whether it had been through their choice, whether their child had been removed from them, whether it was their circumstances at the time. So many children and parents had been separated from one another. And I felt right then and there, I need to do something about this. This can't continue. This should not continue. It should not be like this. So I knew I had to do something, and I wasn't sure what. I'd been a social worker for 5 minutes, and I was sort of very green, but it was laid on my heart from that trip that I needed to do more. And since then, since 2007, we went down, I knew I would be going back to Haiti one day, and I would be doing something to help in some capacity. When I returned to the UK after the trip, though, immediately what we did was I got connected with other Haitians, and you'd never think in the UK you'd find them, but we had a community there, and it was incredible. It was really, really incredible. We connected socially, we would do dinners, I learned to cook Haitian food, I started learning the language, even though I'm still really rusty. I learned how to dance. I learned all of these wonderful things about my culture that I'd never experienced before. And then we started a charity because we knew we could give back, we could do something. Eventually, I became the chairwoman of that charity. Again, not something I ever thought I would ever be. This Haitian girl born in Haiti but raised in a white North American family. So that was me coming into my own further and further, and it helped me to start to develop who I was. On my trip, I didn't find my birth family, which was heartbreaking, and I did mourn that, another loss. But I found a part of myself, and I found a part of who I was as a Haitian woman, and I was so proud of that. And I'm like the biggest Haitian supporter. I'd go out, I'd have my flag. I was so proud being Haitian. I was even more proud when I came back from that trip. Unfortunately, what did happen, and I believe it's compounded from all the years of not living myself and not being in the greatest place, was it had a big effect on my relationship, sort of all of this self-loathing, and I was still in a very, I guess, fragile place. So much so that the relationships I engaged in weren't very positive. From friendships to romantic relationships, I let people take advantage of me. I was always too nice. I was actually in abusive relationships, and relationships that, when I say the word abuse, emotional abuse is often overlooked, and that can sometimes do the most damage. And I was treated pretty horribly by several men in several of the relationships that I was in. Manipulated, coerced, I was assaulted, I was physically abused, sexually abused, and the impact that it had led me to depression, to extreme anxiety, to experiencing PTSD. I was also physically assaulted at work. So all of that sort of compounded at a point in my life where it just felt like, wow, how much more? How much more? I used to hear the saying is, God never gives you more than you can handle. And I was like, I'm good, please, stop. I can't take anymore. But I think somebody said it earlier, and it's like, you realize your strength. And through my positive relationships, because I did have positive relationships, I have lovely friends, I have incredible family. Through their support, practically, spiritually, tough love when they had to yell at me and be like, wake up and get out of that situation, I got the support and help that I needed. I was encouraged, get the counseling. Don't be afraid. Just because I'm a social worker doesn't mean I don't need help. I went to counseling. I got the support. I connected with an adoption group in the UK, life-changing again, to meet other adoptees who'd been experiencing some of the same things I'd been through. Truly helped me see my worth in a different way, our value in a different way, and our understanding. We could be in a room and in a space and we didn't have to say much, we just got it. It was like, oh, you experiencing that? Me too, yep, okay. And that was incredible because I didn't grow up with that experience. And I needed that. I learned to love myself. And it's an ongoing journey, trust me. I'm not all the way there, and I'm sure as many of you in this room aren't. It's something we're always working on to develop ourselves and continue to work on ourselves. And loving yourself first is the most important. But as I've been able to do that, it's had an incredible impact on what I've been able to do. As I say, I came back to Canada a year ago, and this year has been an absolute whirlwind. One of the things that I did when I, back in 2015, when it became available to me, was DNA testing. And you'll see, like, you know, the Ancestry.com sites and things like that. That wasn't available in 2007. When I found out I could do that, I spit into my little test tube that they send you, and I sent off my DNA test. And about 6 weeks later, I got it back, and I got to see for the first time what made me up. What part of Africa was I from? You know, I found out I'm Ghanaian, I'm part Cameroonian, I'm from Benin, Togo. It was, for me, that was like life. I thought, wow, I finally am able to put some more of my puzzle pieces together. And the impact it had was, it just made me feel so good. And I wanted to start researching and finding out and seeking out people from those countries. And it was really incredible. Even more incredibly, what happened after that was I actually made connections with family members. But it was like second, third, fourth, fifth cousins. So I thought, okay, how am I gonna find? I still don't know how I'm gonna find out this information. So that sort of sat on the shelf for a while, and I was busy. I had my babies. I had my first little girl, Africa Maya, and she was amazing. And when I was pregnant, I actually felt extremely connected to my birth mother. And I realized, God, how did she do this? How do you carry a child for 9.5 months and then relinquish them? Or feel like that's your only option, to relinquish your child? It affected me massively, and affected my ability. I wanted to be so attached to my children that I definitely overcompensated, because now they're like, you know, suction cubes to me. But, you know, I was so determined to make sure they felt the love and the support. I went on to have, well, in between, I actually had 2 miscarriages. And again, I felt connected to my mother, because I thought, this is what it feels like. You birth a child, and then you don't get to take them home with you. Again, another knock. I thought, wow. I also was able to be a parent to my stepdaughter, and whew, from 10, she came at 10, we got through the preteen, we got through the teenage years, she's now almost 17. I'm so proud of her. And she's doing an apprenticeship in the UK, and I think, you know, pat myself on the back a little bit, because I'm like, okay, yeah, I helped contribute to her development. And I poured into my girls' lives the best way that I could with what I had. My little one, Nalajwa, came along 3 years ago, and, you know, I'm so proud of being a mom, but it's also opened up wounds that I thought I had dealt with. And it's also given me greater insight into what it's like to parent a child that's not your biological child, and what it's like, as I say, to parent a child that you've carried and that bond has created, and also losing a child. So all of that motherhood and parenting experience has taught me even more, and has definitely worked on my patience, because we all know children test your patience incredibly. And they continue to do so to this day. But, you know, love them to the world and back, and I'm just so blessed. But it also made me want to know more. I still wanted to know, where did I come from? What am I passing on to my children? Like, I didn't know what I was giving them, what diseases potentially, what information, what's running through my DNA. I knew some of that information, but without having more of it, I felt like I was sort of a failure as a mom, to be honest. So I did the DNA testing, and finally, I think about 7 months in, or last summer of 2017, I got a first cousin match. Nice. Wow. I was like, massive. I was literally like, I was just a bundle of nerves, as you can imagine. I reached out and we connected. And it was a gentleman, and he lived in Montreal. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I went all the way to Haiti to find you people, and you're in Montreal? I was like, the irony was not lost on me at all. I thought, wow, okay, where began my Canadian journey? But we connected, and then we started talking. And at first I didn't even tell him. I didn't tell him my story. Because what I found is people will reject you, and I've already had enough of rejection, so I wasn't trying to get rejected again. So I sort of held it in for our first few conversations, and then my sister was like, just tell him already. So I got up the courage, and I was like, so this might come as a bit of a shock, but I don't know my parents' names, so I don't know what you're gonna have to do, but you have to dig. And he was like, oh, okay. I had got a totally different line of questioning, so he went back to his parents and was questioning them. And he came back to me a few days later and he said, we think we've narrowed it down. We think we know who your father is. I was just like, oh my God. He said, my father's had a brother who was living in Haiti in 1979, the year I was born. And he was the only one out of his sibling group who was living there at the time. So process of elimination is probably him. He said, one of my cousins lives in Montreal, and I'm gonna talk to him and get him to do the DNA test with you so we could know for certain. So at Thanksgiving, I put my girls and my friend who did the film with me, we all got in my van, we drove to Montreal. And I met with my first cousin, his wife, his son, and I met with this alleged presumed brother. And we sat at the table in this Haitian restaurant, we swabbed each other's cheeks, and then we had to send off the test. And it took about 4 days, longest 4 days of my life. And I was at work, opened my email, and the email came, your DNA test is complete. I went very weak at the knees. I called, I reached out to my alleged brother, 3 of them, because we've now been starting to communicate. None of them answered the phone. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me here. So I just said, I have to know. I cannot wait another second. I opened the email, and it said 99.9% match. So the picture of the gentleman, that's my birth father. Unfortunately, he's passed away. He passed away 18 years ago, so I not had the opportunity to meet him. However, I did find out that he had several children. So he had 7 children, and 6 of them from his wife, and then he had another child outside of that relationship, and then me. They had no idea I existed. They were shocked. They were actually shocked to know that I had been in Canada this whole time, and that I even existed, that I was alive. So they've been incredible. They've embraced me and loved on me, and it's just been absolutely magical to have this connection. The girls and I went down to Virginia, where one of my sisters lives, at Christmas, just before Christmas, for a weekend. And so I got to meet 4 of my siblings and their children. So I now have 7 new brothers and sisters, 13 nieces and nephews, 8 first cousins, an auntie, an uncle, and more. Wow. So it's just like, woof, I have this whole more family. So yeah, it's been absolutely incredible journey and experience. Ironically, when I was there, I went online to show them, because I did 2 DNA sites, I went online to show them, this is our cousins, and popped up on the site was another first cousin match. And I was like, guys, do you know this person? Like, is this our first cousin? And they were like, no, it's not, we have no idea who that is. I was like, oh my goodness, this is my maternal side. I was like, again, my sister's like, send an email. So I sat there and I wrote an email out, and I checked my messages every day for a month. This girl did not get back to me. I was dying, a month. I was like, come on. So every day, then one day, I was just putting the girls to bed, I checked my email, and I was like, oh my gosh, she responded. So again, communicated with her, same type of thing. I didn't tell her right away the situation. And eventually I said, well, this may come as a shock to you, but, and she said, well, actually, I've just recently found out a family secret as well. And I was like, ooh, what's your secret? I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours, kind of thing. So she said, I found out my auntie had a baby girl and left her. And they were from the same city where I was found. And I was gobsmacked. I don't even know the word. It's taken a little bit longer with them to connect, and I'm trying to be understanding. It's hard because I think there's a lot of emotion obviously around what's happened, and the family now knows, more of the larger family knows. So it's a work in progress, but I'm so full and so thankful and so appreciative for technology and for the blessing that I was able to keep going. There were many times when people were like, oh God, you're still doing that? And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna stop doing this. This is my life. I need to know this information. And I think for me, the impact it's had on my life, being an adoptee, being a foundling, being transracially adopted, has been a lot. I've always sort of been the advocate. When I was from a child, I always wanted to help those who were stigmatized. And as I grew up and grew up, what am I gonna do when I grow up? I wanted to be a journalist at first. I had all these other, goals. I wanted to be a firewoman and all these things. People were like, you're too small to do that. So I was like, okay. And then social work popped up. I went to my guidance counselor. She was like, what about social work? And I was like, I never really thought of that. But I think that all of my experience led me to the right path. So the past 13 plus years, I've been working on child welfare, fostering, adoption. I did it for a long time in the United Kingdom and back here in Canada. And it's been amazing, actually, the journey that I've been on from that side of things and the journey where I'm going. And I started since I came back to Canada last year. I just started with a colleague, a group for adult adoptees, for us to have a chance to get together and connect. I'm part of a group, several groups on Facebook. But this was important for me that we have that connection. And I'm currently developing mentorship program for young like little ones, adoptees, and support resources and opportunities and workshops for adoptive parents, especially transracial adoptive parents, because there's so much they need to know and so much they need to learn about getting it right. We can get it better. And it's also about educating people about Haiti. Haiti's beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you. Anybody who's been to Haiti knows it's not just poor, it's not just poverty, it's not just war and famine. Yes, that's part of it, but Haiti is so much more than that. And people don't see that side of Haiti. It's a jewel of the Caribbean, boy. I'm sure there's other Caribbean, countries represented up in here, but I'm just saying, I've been to a few. Haiti stands out. It's beautiful. And people need to know that side of Haiti. They need to know the beauty of Haiti. And through people like Allison, who are shouting it from the rooftops, yes, Haiti needs help, but it also needs the right kind of help. It's not just swooping in and taking people's children. It's not just swooping in and with the 400 plus NGOs, don't even get me started on that exist in Haiti, that are doing what?
400 plus? There's over 1,000.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And for Haiti to be in the condition it's in, to have that many NGOs,
no.
Unacceptable, highly unacceptable. So what do? We do initiatives like what Allison does. We do projects that are gonna help women specifically, so they aren't in the position that my mother and probably Hulka's mother were in. That they have to relinquish their children because there's no other option. That is not acceptable to me, and it shouldn't be acceptable to us. That we're saying to people, you can't keep your child because you don't have the money. You don't get to take care of your baby. Unacceptable. We've got to do better, we've got to do more. I've been using my voice for several years. I've had some wonderful opportunities. I've met dignitaries, I've met celebrities, I've met and spoken, all around the world. I've screened the film internationally, and I've been blessed. And I'm so thankful that I didn't remain in my victim mentality. I think that's my biggest message I would share is, yes, bad things happen. A lot of bad things can happen to one person. You may think, damn, I've had a lot of knocks. And we all have had some pretty horrible knocks happen to us. But it's standing up and it's saying, I'm not gonna be a victim to that. Refusing to let that be the final chapter. Don't let your attackers, your abusers, the people that told you no, hold you back. You've got to strive and live for your dreams. You cannot let those people win. And I refuse to let them win. Anybody who's told me no, I'm saying no way. No way, I'm going on. I'm now a single mother, didn't see that one coming fully. And it is a challenge. To this other single moms, it's a challenge. It's real, the struggle is real. But again, I can do this. I've got the support. And when you have the support and the love and the self-belief that you can achieve, you will get there. And there's something that I do, and a couple of the ladies have done it, but there's something I do with my girls. Every morning we drive to school. We say impact statements. So I'll say to them, I have them repeat after me, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm strong, I'm intelligent, I'm a leader. and I'm a champion. I make sure my girls know every day when they get out of that car that they are champions. And I just challenge each and every one of you here, we are all champions. Some of us just need a little more help to get there. So don't stop, please don't stop. Trust me, if me, little old me, found in a ditch in Haiti, can be stood here on this stage, living my dream, y'all can do it. So thank you very much.
And before we announce our winners, who wants to know the winners? I want to take the opportunity to, first of all, thank our speakers.
She's on top of the world, hottest of the hottest girls.
All right, so we're going to announce the winners of the Woman on Fire Award. So our first winner for 2018 Woman on Fire Single Mom Award goes to Cheryl Gundown.
Thank you all so much. I know most of you didn't vote for me because I didn't know you a few days ago. I'm just so honored because I'm standing here, I think, representing all single parents.
Thank you.
Stepmoms, stepdads, who don't get the credit sometimes for what they've done. So on behalf of everyone who's worked really hard at their business, at juggling and balancing, and feels like they're constantly dropping balls, because I swear I only have a couple of them in my hands at the same time. Thank you. One lesson I'd like to share with all of you, ask for help.
Yes.
It was the biggest lesson I ever learned, was to ask for help. And being someone who thought I could do it all, the only way you can do it all is to connect with others, people like Allison, people like all of you, and ask for help, connect, community. It's not just your blood family that you have, as we've learned today. We have family and community that hold us up and support us, and those are the people that you need to connect with. And I hope that when one of you guys needs someone, you'll connect with me too.
All right, so we have an award here, but the person isn't here for Young Entrepreneur Award. It's going to Louina Fedrick, the designer. So we'll get this to her. Go to? I can't see a name. Like, who? Arthur Award goes to Nakisha Geddes.
I would just like to say thank you to everyone. Oh wow. I am that type of person that just give, and pour out all that I have in me. And it's wonderful to be, appreciated like this.
Our Butterfly Award goes to Nini Amalisi.
So for those who don't quite understand what's happening here, the Butterfly Award that Allison has created is for women who have experienced and overcome sexual violence or sexual abuse. So while we may have been able to forge on and do amazing feats in entrepreneurship and having businesses and raising families and lots of other important and exciting things, to know that something that you experienced that was designed to steal your soul. And for those who know that experience, it's a lifetime of shame and fighting to get out from under that shame. It's not ever, ever anything that you will think you would get acknowledged for in any way, shape, or form. So what you see here from our lovely, beautiful winner and my other co-nominee is years and years of shame being left behind.
Yes, yes.
And the beauty of Women on Fire is truly what our experiences have been will not define us. They will not define us. Regardless of what we've come through, what we've experienced, how we have been disregarded or it's more than just an absolutely beautiful award. It's a moment of reckoning in a woman's life when what was done to her can no longer have power over her.
Amen. So, our next award is our Hustle Award. And it goes to Angela Martin King.
As I gave Allison a big hug, I said to her, "You should be getting this award." I'm going to be honest with you all. When I was nominated for this award, I went, what? Because I don't identify with the word hustler. A hustler to me is somebody it's like a dog with a bone. And then I thought about it and went, oh. I'm one of those girls that you can't knock down. Who here is one of those girls that you can't knock down? How many times have you been knocked down? The difference between us and them is we refuse to not get back up. We get back up. And I'll tell you what I've been through. I look back and I think, maybe it's not the same as everybody else in here. And I'm shaking because when your identity is ripped out from underneath you, when everything you've built your life around is ripped out from underneath you in 20 seconds, and yeah, it was just an injury. When you lose who you are and have to rebuild her, how do you get back up? How? And it was my sister, it was a couple friends, and I think it's people like you in this room. Because I know that if I fell down right now, which I almost did getting on stage, that there'd be 1, 2, 3 of you right there to help me back up. And that's what a hustler is. And now I'm proud to hold this award and say, hey, you want to call me a hustler? I'll hustle. So thank you for not only helping me acknowledge my own hustle, which means, yes, Cheryl said earlier today when we were chatting that Ange is thinking about what she's going to do next in her business every minute of the day. It really is that what it is. But I do what I love, because how could I not do what I love? It's time to hustle a little bit more. Yes. So thank you. I'm so honored to be in this room with all my new friends.
To say. I thank you, all of you. I belong here. Today has been inspirational and life-changing, okay? Number one, over the past several years, I have been a diagnosed adult with ADHD. Screw that, I do not have ADHD. Jan, the moment you said that someone came up to you and said, how long have you known that you're a musical intuitive? I started crying. I don't think I have stopped crying since that moment. Why? Because I identify with that. I do not have ADHD. I am an empath. I feel you. I feel every single one of you, and guess what? There are tons of other empaths in this room. We do not have ADD. We feel everyone. Okay? Number two. Wow. I am adopted. Guess what? I have now met someone who has a very similar story. Very different stories, except I feel that. I know how that feels. Wow. All these issues, not issues, let's celebrate it, it's who I am, that I have really been able to embrace today. Thank you. Now, Science and Technology Award. What do I do with that? Well, I have special skills, very special communication skills. I'm going to use my science and technical communication skills for this. I wrote this down. This is important. Ready? I'm going to give hundreds of nurturers a powerful voice so they know how to be heard, so they can communicate for results. Thank you.
On our community award, for those who help in the community, goes to Kimberly Shelley.
I honestly wasn't expecting that. Reverend Sky is not here, but I just want to share this award with her for all the great community work she's been doing. Can we just put our hands together for Reverend Sky in her absence? I hope she gets to see this, just for all the work that she does. Someone that we can really regard as a philanthropist for her time, be it from the charities that she does or how involved she is with the Jane and Finch community, the youth, and to help to be an advocate and to stop gun violence. So I share this award with her. Oh my God. Real didn't expect. I didn't even prepare something to say. I didn't expect, but I'm so honored and I'm so grateful. You know, when it all came about and I saw that I was sharing with her, I'm like, you know what? It's just an honor to be nominated, but never expecting to win. But I'm so grateful. I want to thank Andrea for nominating me in her absence here, and just for everyone who voted, who saw what I'm doing and think that, you know, it's sufficient and it's worthy. And I just want to thank everybody. And this is just motivation to even do so much more and be so much more and help so much more people. As I listen to the speakers and everything, even Judith, to be more like Allison's pioneers in this. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Allison. Thank you to Woman in Fire. And yes, Woman in Fire.
Okay, so now we go to the Businesswoman of the Year award. And I just like to say a little bit about this award because it's very special to me. The award is actually called the Merlene Samuel Cephas Businesswoman of the Year award. It's a very long name. So it's on here it says Businesswoman of the Year because we couldn't fit all the letters on the award. But the actual name is the Merlene Cephas Samuel Award, Businesswoman of the Year award. Why Merlene Samuel Cephas? You might wonder. She was my cousin who passed away from cancer 3 years ago. She was an amazing businesswoman. She was in business for 30 years. And what her business was teaching dance to children from as young as 2, 3 years old, right up until 20, 22, 23 years old. What was unique with Merlene is that she never turned away any child. She always loved children. She always showed them how to stand strong and how to believe in themselves and how to have confidence and how not to be shy through dance and through music. And she, you know, supported so many youths in the community. At her funeral, there was over 1,500 people at her funeral. And you would swear it was a funeral for a child because I think half of the audience were children, young, very young people that she had touched for many, many years in her life. The girl who did her eulogy was 36 years old, and she had been with Merlene since she was 6 years old. So that's how impactful she was for people all over the world. And so this award, I wanted to remember her because she supported me from day one. I started, you know, fundraising for Haiti, Woman on Fire. She was always there for me. The one I would call 1 o'clock in the morning. You know those friends you can call 1 o'clock? She's my cousin, she's my friend. 1 o'clock in the morning. The one I would call from Haiti and say, I have no money. Could you send me money? And she didn't even ask, when would I get it back? Or, you know, she would say, how much do you need? How much do you need? And she would send it for me. And when I came back, I said, I have to send the money. She said, no, that's my donation for the work you're doing. She supported Woman on Fire. Everything she did, you know, to support me. And when she was dying on her deathbed, because she died from cancer, she knew she was dying. And she said, keep on doing your work. I'll look out for you. I'll be there. And so this award, I always say the person who gets this award was hand-selected by my cousin. This is a special person. And everywhere I go in Atlanta, I tell this story about my cousin. And I think she's here tonight because she truly supported me 100% in what I do with Woman on Fire. She knew it from the beginning, from the very beginning. And she knew about Haiti from the very beginning because she's always been in my life, right? So, but she supported, because we have a lot of family who don't support, yes? And she supported me anyhow, whatever I needed, she was there for me. Her only regret, I think, is she never got a chance to go to Haiti. So tonight, I'd like to say congratulations to our Woman on Fire Businesswoman of the Year award, which goes to Divya.
I wasn't expecting this at all. Thank you so much, Alison. Thank you so much. Thank you to your cousin.
She knows. Village admission.
Okay, I really wasn't expecting this because, especially listening to everybody else's stories of all the nominations for Businesswoman of the Year. I'm such a junior and such a minor in the field of business compared to everybody else here. So first of all, I have so much to learn from all the other entrepreneurs here, and I will be reaching out to you. Somebody already promised me some mentorship. I have to thank God, first of all, and then my parents, and my husband, my family, my 2 incredible daughters, Alison for actually even recognizing all of us here, and we're all winners, and everybody's already said that already. And I want to also thank my sister, who's in blue, because I know when I was first nominated for this award, I was like, oh, it's quite cool, but she was pretty much my biggest supporter, and she literally, she took it upon herself to post it out to everybody and to tell everybody about it. I'm like, I really don't think I qualify for such a title yet, because I'm still such a junior in this industry. And she said, no, you absolutely deserve it, and you should go for it. And Deepika, thank you so much, because you've always supported me from the very beginning. Anyone who's actually lucky enough to have a sister, whether biological or just somebody that you can consider to be a sister, is just very, very lucky, because whether it's just, I don't know, like women, we understand each other differently. I love my brother as well, obviously, but I don't know, there's something about having a sister and being part of a sisterhood, and I really believe that this is what this is as well. And so, Alison, thank you for making everything possible. Thank you so much, everybody.
And our last award for the evening is our Lifetime Achiever Award. And this as well has a story. All my awards have stories. And this one was awarded to Jean Lynch. Jean Lynch is actually quite alive. She's about 84 years old now. And she attended my very first official Woman on Fire event back in 2014. Do you remember Jean? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And Jean was 80 years old at the time, dancing around circles around us. And Jean works with women in her building to bring fitness to them every single day at 84 years old. She had been a businesswoman at 80. She said, I had to do something. I can't just sit down. And so she teaches exercise classes in her building for seniors. So this award was named after Jean Lynch because she just keeps on going. And that's what this award is about. When you say lifetime, it's just to show you the recognition that we recognize you even at this point in your life, when a lot of stuff more the younger people and all of this stuff, but we recognize you for blazing that trail, for cutting that path, for leading us. That's what this lifetime award is about. So this year's winner is Lynn Himmelman.
Wow. I'm filled with so much emotion right now, and I know I'm a laughter coach, but I feel like
you should cry.
And we have something in laughter yoga called laughter crying. And that's what I'm feeling right now. I feel like laughing, but I also just wow. I want to bring up Jillian again, because honestly, when she said that she wanted to nominate me for Lifetime Achiever Award, I really resisted it. I did. You know, and I think, what have I accomplished? And so I want to share with you what I shared with her, which I guess is partly what inspired her to nominate me. I told her the story of how I ended up embracing laughter and making it a part of my business and what I like to bring to others. In fact, I'm so passionate about laughter now, and I used to be so super serious And in the year 2008, I was struck down with a brain trauma. I won't explain the whole story, just to say that I came out of a coma and I couldn't name anything in the room. I didn't know what objects were called. I didn't know how to use things anymore. I didn't know how to use a phone. I didn't know how to read. I didn't know how to write. And I had to learn all of that all over again. And I was alone. I didn't have family around me. And I had one thing to reach out as a lifeline. It was something I had been exposed to 4 years earlier. It was the laughter yoga. And at the time, I just thought it was a kind of kooky, fun little adjunct to my serious work in life. And in that moment where I couldn't name anything in the room anymore, and I realized I was in deep, deep trouble, I was going to have to pick myself up and figure out life, the simple things, the things that you take for granted. And I felt highly, highly confused and stressed. And there's something about being caught in this place where your brain won't function. And you're here and everybody else is over there, and you look the same, and everybody has the same expectation of you, and the malfunction won't even let you explain the trouble you're in. So, because I had learned laughter yoga, I learned to just shrug my shoulders and go, and after a couple of years of this, actually the laughter was my lifeline that helped me with my recovery. And 2 years into it, I went, oh my gosh, I need to take this seriously. And so I consider it an achievement that I've gone from this very serious person to having recovered a lot. I still have the invisible going on that a lot of people can't see, but I've recovered my ability to speak, and I've recovered my ability to write, and I can read books again now, which took several years to regain. And so I just want to say the best thing in life is to keep laughing no matter what.